looks good to see. Detail up, telemetry. Actually, we don't need detailed shit. Lap data and track map we do need though. Hopefully this won't take too long to upload. And to anyone who watches this, feel free to have a look at the Pacific Open Series races as well. I imagine they'll be quite entertaining. But there's the stream. Chat's up, streams up. My audio is working well, the game audio is working well, so we're all good to go. Hello everyone and welcome back to Race Spec Esports. This is the beginning of a brand new season for a brand new year. The 6th season of F1 League racing here on Race Spec begins with the opening round of the Pacific Sunday Championships. This is Pacific Elite, the top no assist tier, and we're racing at Autodromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Last season, Portimao made its debut in Race Spec and proved to be a bit of a mixed bag in terms of racing quality. Some were intense, full of action. Others, very much less so. The 4.65 kilometre 15-turn course has two major overtaking opportunities at turns 1 and 5, with the help of DRS down the main straight and the straight coming out of turn 4. Arguably the most unique characteristic about the circuit, and you can see it on screen now, is the dramatic elevation change. Roller coaster really is the best way to describe Portimao. This detail makes certain corners quite treacherous, especially turns 4 and 8. Those turns have been the scene of many drivers spinning out and causing drama. So those areas are definitely ones we spectators and drivers will have to look out for. Hopefully with this in mind and a bit of praying to the racing gods, we get a nice and or entertaining start to the season and begin 2022 with a bang. But I just want to quickly run through the drivers we have here in Pacific Elite as well. On screen right now is Spilly driving the Aston Martin. He'll be quite quick. He was championship runner-up in Season 5 in Pacific Tier 1, so he's quite a capable driver. And actually won the race at Portugal, here in Portugal, last season as well. So he's coming off a good record, so to speak. His teammate is Gilles, who's currently 9th. Gilles was in a McLaren last season, if I remember correctly. He is changed over to British Racing Green. That should be a fairly solid pairing between those two. Keeg in the Ferrari, he was in the, if I remember, Mercedes-Benz last season. He's partnered up with F1 Ferrari Pro, who is, to no one's surprise, still in the Ferrari. Got Plevs, traditionally in the McLaren. His teammate this time around is Italian Alex Parto, who's just completed the first flying lap of Season 6, a 1 minute 16.623. Not a bad lap time on the soft compound tyre as well. New face, a name that I don't recognise, NZ_Andre96. I'll be interested to see how he fares over the course of the season. Another driver has just set a lap time, that being Silderford in the Red Bull, setting a 17.494. Silderford is another name that I don't recognise, so I'll be keen to see how he fares over the course of this season. Let's see here. ACW returns for Pacific Elite in the Alfa Romeo. He's arguably the championship favourite. We'll have to wait and see after a few races, but I know ACW has got an abundance of talent, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see him towards the front and in fact winning this championship. We've got Tinselman in the Alpine as well, returning. Tinselman had a few solid results last season, so he'll be looking to build upon that. Try and aim for a few top 10 finishes, try and score some points. The team that I've only barely mentioned is Mercedes-Benz. We've got Pump returning in the Silver Arrows, or Black Arrows in this case. Alongside him is the quite quick Bags Liddell. He drove in Pacific Tier 1 as ACW goes to the top of the table with a 1 minute 16.5. Bags drove for Williams in Pacific Tier 1, but he's in the Mercedes-Benz for Pacific Elite. And, oh, one driver who I haven't mentioned yet. Power Sight, he's partnered up with newcomer Andre. It'll be interesting to see how the Alpha Tauri pairing fare in this no assist tier. We got the Haas of BP V8. Now BP had a few stunning races last season. None more so than the race at Suzuka. He had a fantastic battle with Eye Contrast, who isn't participating, it seems, this season. Which is a shame, because Eye Contrast is definitely one of the more gifted drivers in this specific region. But BP has made his return and he's in his Haas, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares. And the last driver who I haven't mentioned yet is Roscoe. He's partnered up with ACW. Arguably the strongest combination between Roscoe and ACW. Arguably, I suppose we'll have to wait and see with a few races just to see where the teams put themselves and where the drivers put themselves in their respective championships as Tinselman jumps up to P8 with a 17.5. So from Tinselman all the way up to pole position, that being ACW, that's 1 second. So it's pretty tight out there, which is good to see. As Ferrari Pro, I believe, has just completed a lap, 17.2 from the Ferrari driver. Alex Pato, he's getting ready to set another flying lap. He's got plenty of time left in the session to do that. Pump, are you on a flying lap? Doesn't appear to be. You're not consuming any battery there, are you? No, you're not. Ferrari Pro, you're definitely not on a flying lap. Plebs isn't either. Tinselman, now he's going back into the pits. You can tell from the flashing red icon on the telemetry. It means he's low on fuel. In fact, he's just run out. So it's no longer flashing. It's now a solid red fuel icon. So he's out of fuel and he's in low fuel mode. And dawdle back towards the pit lane. Quite a treacherous pit lane as well. It's a very fast approach. Very easy to get it wrong. Very easy to cop a 5-second penalty. And that's actually one corner that I haven't mentioned yet, is the final turn. You can, well, from experience and from what I've seen from other drivers, it's actually fairly easy to lose it on the flat-out final right-hander. I'll tell you what, we're right on board with Alex Pato here. We'll give you a guided tour of this 4.6 kilometre, 15-turn racetrack here in Portugal. Down the main straightaway, up and over the crest. He'll open DRS and start his flying lap. We'll watch the speedo climb up and over 315 kilometers an hour, about 319 into the braking zone at turn 1. 5th gear through turn 2, which is flat out, into the hairpin of turn 3. 2nd gear hits the apex nicely. There's a car in front, I believe that's Power Sight. Through turn 4, very easy for the back end to step out. He was a bit wide, but he doesn't invalidate. Into the braking zone of turn 5. It's a very big braking zone. It's a very sharp corner, turn 5, as Power Sight rather awkwardly gets out of the way, but he does so successfully. Around turn 6, into turn 7 and 8. Turn 8 you have to be quite careful of. Very easy for the back end to step out here, but he keeps that car under control. Around turn 9, then climbing up and over a crest into turns 10 and 11. Both blind before you reach that crest. So you have to position your car correctly through turn 12 and now into the hairpin of turn 13. 2nd gear, short shifting to 3rd to find the traction. There's Gilles rather wisely getting out of the way there. Around turn 14, you see there Alex being quite progressive on the throttle, not asking too much of the car too early. Around the final turn, nice and flat, keeps it very narrow as well. Over the crest, opens DRS, crosses the line and retakes pole position with a 1 minute 16.498. So he's 700ths clear of ACW. One other driver who I noticed... Oh, hello. Got some side-by-side action going on there into turn 1. What was that? I believe that was Roscoe and a Ferrari, I think. It looks like Ferrari Pro. They were side-by-side with one another there at turn 1. Oh, as Power Sight loses it just a little bit at the exit of 3. He was probably put off from the cars in front of him. But yes, one driver who I forgot to mention in my rundown is G-Force Zach in the Red Bull. Typically you see this guy in a Mercedes-Benz, but this time around he's in the Red Bull Honda. Car number 69, of course. No, it'll be interesting to see how the Red Bull pairing go, because Silderford is a driver I haven't seen. Or maybe I have seen, and they just changed their username. I'm not sure. Oh, what's going on here? ACW and Ferrari Pro, they were side by side. Ferrari Pro not on a flying lap here. He's going back into the pits. Spilly, are you on a flying lap? No, you've invalidated your lap. Bags, you're 2 seconds down in the first sector. ACW, he's getting... Look at all the traffic here in Sector 3. You've got Spilly there pulling off to the side. Excuse me, pulling off to the side. You've got Roscoe Arm coming in. He's on an out lap. Very maybe. There's a lot of traffic going through this final sector. Everyone's just come out at the wrong time. Alright, ACW, how will you fare? Can he retake pole position? Can he knock Alex off the top spot? Let's find out. Down the pit straight. The DRS wide open. Now, Alex hit about 319. There's 319. There's 320. 321 into the braking zone at turn 1. Through 2. Now into turn 3. This tight hairpin, second gear. Apex speed of about 84 kilometers an hour. Around turn 4. No understeer there from ACW. Takes turn 4 rather nicely. But he is down on his personal best in the first sector. Not by much so. By only 17 thousandths of a second. Around turn 6. Now into the double right of 7 and 8. He was using every inch of circuit he could have used there. Or in the back end stepping out. He kept that car in 5th through there. Interesting. That's a very interesting technique. Not sure if he did that deliberately. I suppose you see. Oh, and he's just invalidated his lap. He was only a 10th down. So he's setting a rather competitive lap, but 5th gear, that's interesting. Plevs has vaulted up to 4th place, so both McLarens in the top 5. Spilly, he's on a good flying lap here. He's almost up by 2 tenths, but he would have to improve by a massive half a second to knock Alex off pole position. We'll keep it nice and narrow. Over the crest, crosses the line, and he stays P5. In fact, he lost time in that final sector and doesn't improve. Silderfort getting ready. I think Tinselman just behind. He's getting ready to set a flying lap too. Around the final corner, keeping it nice and flat. Over the crest onto the pit straight. Now, let's see. What does the speedo say for the Red Bull driver? 319, 320, 321, 322, about 323. What about Tinselman? About 318. That's the slowest I've seen so far. Only by 1 kilometer an hour, though, to Alex. Around turn 4. In 5th gear. Sector 1 says, for Silverfort, down to his personal best. Tinselman. He's also down by 2 tenths. That's quite a lot of time to be down by in the first sector. Only 4 corners in the first sector. There's not much to it. There's definitely a lot to go through, though, here in the middle sector. A lot of tricky corners, a lot of areas to get it wrong. Silverfort negotiating quite well. Yellow flags in the 3rd sector. Coming around turn 11, then down the hill. Oh, and that's an invalidation. It's rather brutal there at turn 11. Oh, and Tinselman, he was right on the edge of invalidating his lap there. He was very close. Around turn 13. Around the penultimate corner, turn 14. You can see there, just gently riding the brake, trying to get the car to slow down, but also turn in. Around the final corner, turn 15. Doesn't keep it narrow, like we've seen from other drivers. He'll cross the line to improve by 2.5 tenths, P8, with a 1 minute 17.265. So he overtakes Silderfort there. Ferrari Pro pump. They're getting ready. BP appears to be on a flying lap. Nope, he just completed one. He's down in 11th. Roscoe Arm is well down on his personal best, so he might be ducking back into the pit lane as Ferrari Pro starts another flying lap. Just over 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying through turn 1, then turn 2, and into the hairpin of turn 3. 2nd gear, short shifting to 3rd. 4th gear through turn 4, and down the straightaway towards the hairpin of turn 5. And he's up by half a tenth in the first sector. It's not a massive improvement. Oh, and a bit of a wiggle there at the exit of turn 5. I was about to say it's not a massive improvement, but it is an improvement nonetheless. Around turn 8, you have to be very careful on the throttle here. Oh, and that's brutal. That's pretty brutal. He just put all 4 wheels over the white line. game has come down on him pretty hard, invalidating his lap, giving him a warning. Oh, that was a lot of understeer there from the Mercedes-Benz of Pump. That was a lot of understeer. In fact, he's backed out of the lap. Fair enough. Ferrari Pro, will he have a second go or will he go back into the pits? He's got 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the session. What will he do? He's around the final turn. And he's going to have a second go. Fair enough. It's fairly touch and go when it comes to time. So this might be Ferrari Pro's final flying lap in this qualifying session. Around turn 1, then turn 2, into turn 3. Gets on the brakes, second gear. And remember, no TC, no ABS for the drivers racing tonight. So they're doing this the hard way, and I can assure you, racing without TC and ABS, it's not easy. The front end desperately wants to lock up when you try and trail brake into corners. So you have to be incredibly mindful at corner entry that you might not get the steering response you want. These guys are taking it on the chin and they're driving quite well. Up and over the crest, down the hill, around the flat out left-hander of turn 9, then up and over another crest into turns 10 and 11. You can see there a nice wide approach through 10. Quickens up turn 11 and he's up by almost 2/10 in the middle sector. Around turn 13, 2 corners remain for the Ferrari driver. The penultimate corner, turn 14, you can see they're gently on the throttle, then full power on corner exit, not fully utilizing the full width of the circuit there, so there's a bit of extra time. Keeps it incredibly narrow, crosses the line, jumps to 4th place, improving by just over 3/10 to set a 1 minute 16.9. Meanwhile, Alex Pato, he's not on a proper flying lap. Bags has begun one. Current PB 16.7. He needs to improve by 2/10 to overtake ACW for second place. Needs to improve by 3 if he wants pole position. Around turn 4, nice through there. Down towards turn 5, but he's down in the first sector. Around the hairpin. Nice and easy on the throttle on the exit. Around turn 6. Bring as much speed as he dares. Now the tricky traction zone at the exit of 8. He does that pretty well. Through 9. Now the double right of 10 and 11. What does the middle sector say for Bags as he understeers wide? His lap is invalidated. Oh no. Might be qualifying over. Spilly, he's jumped up to P3. ACW is in the middle sector. He's coming around turn 9. Now the double right of 10 and 11. This is where Bags invalidated his lap. He ran wide of this corner. ACW does no such thing, and he's up by almost 2.5/10. Into the hairpin of turn 13. 3rd gear, then short shifting to 4th to find the traction. Around turn 14. Now Alex, oh, he's hovering on his personal best. This is going to be close. Around the final corner comes ACW. Keeps it very narrow. Up and over the crest. Will cross the line and takes pole at 16.3. Does Alex have anything in response to that? He's up on his personal best, but he needs to improve by quite a bit here in the final sector. Onto the pit straight, up and over the crest. Opens DRS, crosses the line. It's not enough. He misses out on pole position by just over 1/10. Now, can anyone else try and challenge? Pump, no, he can't challenge at this stage. Tinselman improves to P6. Plebs, his session is done. What about Andre? He crosses the line. He doesn't improve either. He's down at 15. I believe ACW is on pole position. A 1 minute 16.302. Beating Alex Pato, who set a 1 minute 16.433. Very tight towards the top. Just over 1/10 of a second separating the top 2. Spilly in 3rd place. Then it's the 2 Mercedes-Benzes of Bags and Pump. Quite a strong combo, the Mercedes duo. They'll be happy with both cars in the top 5. We'll run through the rest of the grid in just a moment. So in P6 we have Tinselman, just under 6/10 off pole position. and Ferrari Pro P7, Plebs in 8th, Zach in 9th, and Hilles rounds out the top 10. Everyone inside the top 10 will start on the soft compound tyre unless it's a raining start. Silda 4th, P11, Roscoe 12th, Keegan 13th, BP V8 in 14th, Andre in 15th, and Powersight will start from the back of the grid in 16th place. Not the greatest look for AlphaTauri, but we've got a long race in front of us where anything can happen. Alright, race time here in Portugal. What is the weather going to be like, I wonder? Not a bad effort there, Ferrari Pro. Considering last season you had those wheel problems, you've come back from that pretty well. Clear skies here at the racetrack as well, so no obvious signs of wet weather interference for this one, though the cloud cover may come and we might have some late race rain, who knows. We'll wait and see. The strategy here at Portimao is actually a fairly straightforward one because tyre wear really isn't an issue. Soft mediums all day, every day. Those who start on the medium compound tyre, if they get damaged early on, they do have the hard tyre to fall back on. I don't have a great deal of experience with the hard tyre, but I don't think it's too bad. I suppose we'll wait and see. Alright, drivers should be lining up on the grid. We'll set off on the formation lap. Let's have a look at the detail. Get the tyre graphic up. Interesting. I thought we'll see a few more drivers on the mediums, but just the 3. So as you can see, the top 10, all of them starting on the soft compound tyre. We know that. That's a tyre they qualified on a few minutes ago. First driver outside the top 10 is Silderford, the Singaporean driver, starting on the soft compound tyre. Nice and aggressive. He'll want to be nice and aggressive anyway, try and cut his way through the field early, then compensate later on. That's the idea by starting on the soft tyre. Roscoe P12 starting on the mediums. He's the first driver starting on the medium tyre. Car behind him, Keeg, is also starting on the mediums. And BP V8 is the final driver starting on the medium compound tyre. So only 3 of them in this race. Andre and Powersight, both of them are starting on the soft compound tyre. So both AlphaTauri cars starting on the softs. They want to be aggressive early, try and get towards the top 10, try and get into the points, and yeah, compensate later on. No, I was expecting a few more to try and start on the medium tyre, but I suppose with only 16 cars in the lobby, 3 drivers starting on the mediums might actually be a reasonable number. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. Basically swap the hard tyre for the medium one. That's basically the strategy here in Portugal. Because yeah, tyre wear really isn't too much of an issue. Got no clue where to break off the grid this time. I suppose you'll work that out on the fly, Spilly. You'll be alright. It is the season opener, so everybody will be a little bit rusty for the start. So if there are any collisions early in the race, to any drivers who are watching this, don't get too angry. It is just the season start. Stuff does happen as someone joins late. Hopefully that doesn't wreck the lobby. All 16 cars are lined up and ready to race here in Portugal. We got 10 red lights and we are underway, and it's a nice start from Alex Parto. He will take the lead. Jockey ACW is a bit of flags. Who might that be? It's Powersight. He's dropped down to 16th. He's a fair way behind. But Alex Parto is lag on my end then. Coming around turn 5. Exiting the hairpin down towards turn 2. There was a great start from the Italian. Converted really well off the line. He's already got a healthy margin to P2 ACW. Spilly in P3. Got Bags Liddell in 4th. Ferrari Pro up a few positions in P5. Pump P6. And Plebs in 7th place. Around turns 10 and 11. And cascading down the hill around turn 12. ACW is not letting Alex go here around turn 13. So a fairly tame start, which is great to see for the season opener. Did have yellow flags ever so briefly. It might have actually been Roscoe as he's down in 15th place. It was a bit higher than that. He was up in 12th, so he's lost 3 positions off the start. Crossing the line now to complete the first lap. Get the intervals up. As Spilly, he might be having a go here on ACW down the inside into 1. It's a successful move from the Aston Martin driver. He's into P2. Bags pressuring the Alfa Romeo driver, but he's unable to get by just yet. Around turn 4, onto the back straightaway towards the hairpin of turn 5. BP overtaking GeForce Zach. He's into... Oh, GeForce Zach has spun out, actually. He's dropped down to last place as Bags is pressuring ACW here. They're side by side, but ACW gets the traction on the outside. He holds on to 3rd place. Scrolling down the order a little bit. Got Plevs and Tinselman fairly close together on track. Zach is a long way behind now, and 7 seconds behind the next car. And around turn 9 through 10 and 11. That was awfully tight between those two. I thought Tinselman was properly alongside Plebs there. I thought he might have got shoved off the racetrack. That was awfully close. Oh, BP. What's happened here? He's doing a bit of lawn mowing in his Haas. Gets back on, but he's now down in 15th place. Fortunately, though, he's still on the back of this train. Unlike poor Zach here, down in 16th. He's got a lot of work to do. Alright, DRS is now enabled as it's lap 3 of 33 here in Portugal. So drivers will be able to use the DRS system when they're within 1 second of the car in front. In the DRS zone, as the great Jeff would say. Alex actually got a pretty solid opening sector there. He pulled away from Spilly by about 2 or 3 tenths through that opening complex. Exiting turn 5, up and around turn 6. Spilly, he'll be doing his best to keep up with Alex. His power side overtakes Roscoe Arm, so power side, he's not giving up here, Roscoe Arm. Down the inside at 7, they're side by side. Looking around the long way. What a nice move there from power side. Nice and confident around the outside. He's brave enough to hold it. And his bravery has been rewarded. He's up into 13th. Some lovely aerial shots here looking over the racetrack. See a bit of scrapping going on there for 13th. Oh, and Spilly's outside of a second. Does he have DRS? Let's find out. The answer is no. So here comes ACW. This is the raw power of DRS right on display. Down the inside into turn 1. A simple move. ACW is now into 2nd place. Spilly, he can't quite fight back into the hairpin of turn 3. Roscoe Arm overtaking power side. He retakes 13th. Down the back straight away. Fortunately for ACW, he has DRS, and that's pump. He has spun out. He's backwards. He's in the gravel trap too. Get back on, but he's down in 15th, and here comes GeForce Zach coming out of turn 4. Oh, it's a going again. There goes Zach into 15th place. Turn 4, definitely an area the drivers have to be very careful of. Oh, here comes BP, gets a great run out of turn 8. Power side falls to 14th. GeForce Zach gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see here. Bags working away here at Spilly, coming around turn 14. Down short straight. Around the final corner, turn 15. Bags, he's in striking distance. But can he get enough straight line speed to try and pass Spilly? And I think the answer is no. CW though, he's now right on the back of Alex here. Through 1, through 2, bit of lag there. As Keeg overtakes Andre for P10. Those two having a bit of a scrap. Ferrari Pro, Bags side by side through turn 4. Oh, and spin! Oh, how did he catch that? That's a great catch from Bags. Managed to gather the car up, stop it from going onto the grass and into the barrier. Stays in 5th place too. He's still very much in this fight. BP overtaking Roscoe as well for P12. Up and over the crest around turns 10 and 11. Alex Pato still leading the way. But for how much longer? Because ACW is right there. Why is it still on this camera? My goodness. Game decided to stay on that camera for an awfully long time. And look at Alex, he pulls away through this final sector. The gap increases to 7/10 between him and ACW as they head on to the main straight. They begin lap 6 of 33. ACW closing the gap. BP overtaking Andre, he's now into P11. On turn 1, 2, and into 3. None of these guys are quite close enough to battle one another just yet. Plev's losing touch with the top 5. He's going to be a bit vulnerable here as Roscoe passes Andre for P12. Went a bit wide there. I think that was Gilles in the Aston Martin. Tinselman looking, can't really commit to a move though. Didn't get enough momentum to try and pass the McLaren down the inside there at turn 5. But you can see as well, Plevs, he's got a flash, well he did have a flashing red light at the back of the car, so he's low on battery, which is not surprising. It's very easy to deplete all your battery and never get it back, unless there's a safety car or virtual safety car. It's very, very difficult to recharge your batteries as Powersight is out of the race. He has crashed out at turn 8. Do we see a safety car? Not at this stage, not even a virtual. So that's our first retirement for Pacific Elite. It's Powersight in the AlphaTauri, crashing at turn 8. Again, a very easy thing to do. Mentioned earlier in the intro, turns 4 and 8, those are definitely the hot spots for accidents of drivers losing control and ending up in the barrier. Around turn 4, 4/10 separate the top 2. ACW, he's got pace, but he's not close enough to attack. Oh, a bit wide there, Alex, using all of the circuit and then some. Probably had a little bit of understeer and trying to turn into the corner. Up and over the crest, exiting turn 8 and down the hill around turn 9. Plucking away at the gap. He needs to be within 4/10, I reckon, if he wants to overtake Alex into turn 1. Essentially, he needs to get this final sector right. Alex just pulls away incrementally through this 3rd sector. Coming out of turn 14. The gap is at 6/10, so I don't think ACW is close enough. On the other hand, Ferrari Pro just might be close enough. Here we go. Down the pit straight, opens DRS. Spilly doesn't have any. So here comes the Ferrari. Down the inside. A simple move. Into 3rd place. Oh, but overshoots turn 1 just a little bit. Through turn 2, Spilly can't counter attack. You can see there Ferrari Pro as well, defending the inside line just a little bit there. Around turn 4. Into the back straight. Spilly, can he counter? Into the hairpin at turn 5. Answer is no. He cannot. Exiting the hairpin, you've got 3 cars all tightly bunched together. Got the 2 leaders with a bit of a margin to P3, just 1 second, 1.1 seconds. Around turn 8, over the crest, down the hill. Can't really do much in terms of passing through this sector. Basically have to wait for the right moment. And by the right moment, I mean wait until you get DRS down the main straight and try and pass that way. Around the penultimate corner, turn 14. Not too many other battles going on the track at the moment. You can tell from the intervals. But we should be getting pretty close to that pit window to move off the soft tyre onto the medium. Should be about lap 11, lap 12 or so. Spilly round the outside into turn 1. That's great stuff there from the Aston Martin driver. He moves himself back into third place. Bags is very much in this fight as well. ACW's got a bit of a run. Is he close enough? Oh, I don't think he is. Into the hairpin. Deep on the brakes, but can't really do anything. Similar story for Ferrari Pro, though. Certainly Bags looked down the inside briefly. Oh, and he had a bit of a moment at the edge of the hairpin too. He got a bit sideways there. Around turn 8. Up and over the crest down the hill. Then turn 9. Roscoe Armour, 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Only 9 laps in and already quite a few drivers have got penalties. Gaps are starting to spread out a little bit now. We're entering that sort of mid-phase of the race. Don't see too much attacking through this sort of phase. ACW closes in, but not by enough. Alex is doing a superb job, by the way, at holding ACW up. He has enough car speed to keep ACW in second without DRS. Shows you how quick he is. And as we all know, DRS is awfully powerful in this game. Tinselman putting the pressure on Plevs, who understeers a little bit at corner exit. Coming around the left-hander at 6, they're side by side. Towards 7 and 8, Plevs has the inside line, gives him room. Fair racing between these two. Tinselman tries to get the over and under, but oh, and he gets the drive. He'll go around the outside at turn 9, get it done. Into P6, he'll have the inside line for 10 and 11. And there's Gilles, right on the back of the McLaren. Down through turn 12, up towards the hairpin of 13. Oh, deep on the brakes, almost touching. Hello, Gilles. Saw that Aston Martin grow quite big in the wing mirrors of the McLaren. Got very close. Around the final turn, Tinselman. See there the flashing light, and that's... Oh, and he goes into the pits. That allows me to go to this. Keeg has spun. He's doing a bit of lawn mowing. He gets back onto the racetrack. Keep an eye on that tyre change for Tinselman as well. See what he goes on to. Another spin for Keeg as his tyres are a bit hot as Tinselman goes on to the medium compound tyre. Spilly. Close, but no cigar for the Aston Martin driver. Oh, but I think Ferrari Pro overshot the hairpin a little bit. I reckon he did, but Ferrari Pro just put his car in the right position to hold up Spilly. Just looked like it from the camera angle that he overshot the hairpin just a little bit. Yeah, we've got a very nice battle here for third place. These three fairly evenly matched at this stage. Similar story for the top two. ECW just sort of chilling behind Alex here. Coming around turn 14. And around turn 15. Just under 7/10. Oh, and ACW goes in. Pulls the car up very nicely. Doesn't get a speeding penalty. Spilly, he's close. Not close enough. Oh, and 50-meter board is missing. That'll be a bit annoying for anyone not using racing line, which I'm pretty sure is everybody. Pretty sure it's turned off. I might have to check that in a little bit. We'll watch these three though go down into turn 5, see what happens. And nothing. It's just the straight isn't quite long enough to allow DRS to take full effect. Oh, hello, we have Plevs and Gilles side by side. Plevs hangs on to P5. You need to be quite close in order to try and make a move into turn 5. Oh, a bit sideways there from Plevs. Back end stepping out. As his tyres get older and older, get more worn, provide less and less grip. Around turn 13, Spilly is very close here to Ferrari Pro. Now, Alex, will he respond to the undercut? from ACW? The answer is yes. Slows the car down. And cops a 5-second penalty. Or Ferrari Pro might get the same. No, he pulls it up really well. Broke nice and late, but unlike Alex, he can get a 5-second penalty. Alex, so he'll be kicking himself with that. And he's on the hard tyre as well. So where's ACW? Here he is. He's behind G-Force Zach. Keep an eye on that orange McLaren. There he is. So the undercut not necessarily working out for ACW. In fact, ACW, he's got a car between him and Alex. Now alongside that car, and he's passing that car. G-Force Zach lets him have it. So ACW now into 8th place, which is provisionally 2nd once we get through all the pit stop rotations. So the battle between these two shall resume. This time ACW's got a bit of a tyre advantage. Also a bit of a penalty advantage as Alex has 5 seconds. Now Spilly and Bags will be pitting in shortly. Move on to the mediums. They're both going in. Wood deep on the brakes, pulls it up nicely. Very nicely done. Plev's doing the same. BP stays out. He becomes our new race leader. He started on the mediums. He'd be doing about, I'd say, 20-odd laps on the tyres before moving on to the soft compound. Roscoe Arm into 2nd place. Similar story. He started on the mediums as well. And ACW has overtaken Alex, so there we are. Medium tyres helping out. Same with DRS as well, down the main straight. Now the Alfa Romeo driver is in the provisional lead once we get through all the pit stop rotations. Spilly, Ferrari Pro, side by side through turn 4. Down the back straight away, the Ferrari has DRS and pulls away from the Aston Martin. Into the hairpin, Ferrari Pro hangs on. Overshooting a little bit there, Spilly, but doesn't lose too much time doing that. Andre getting a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 14th. At the moment, he's just made a pit stop. He's on fresh tyres. He'll keep soldiering on. And around turn 9. And through turns 10 and 11. It seems like these three are going to be battling all the way through the race. Fairly evenly matched. Oh, and Spilly a bit wide. Bags can't quite capitalise on it though. Oh, Spilly was very narrow. That costs him a little bit of time. The gap increases to 8 tenths. ACW sets a new fastest lap with an 18.4. G-Force Zach goes into the pit lane. Down the main straight we go. You can see a bit of weaving going on. Trying to break the toe just a little bit. There's Bags. Just behind. This Parasite has left the session. It was nice that he stuck around and watched for a bit. It's actually been pretty nice so far. Not been overly dramatic, but we've had a bit of racing here and there. It's just still very closely bunched up. Now, I just want to quickly check something as well. Yeah, I believe it's all turned off, if I'm not mistaken. So no racing line, I believe, is allowed in Pacific Elite. So those braking boards become all that more important. Don't want to take them out. At certain racetracks, they're quite literally your only reference for braking. Coming out of the penultimate turn, Spilly not close enough. Bags won't be either. Ferrari Pro doing a bit of weaving, trying to keep Spilly at bay. So he should have enough of a gap to hold on to 5th. So he's running low on battery, you can tell from the flashing light. Around turn 1, 2, into the hairpin at 3. Might ride on board a whole lap here with Spilly. Give you an idea of what it's like in race conditions. Down into the hairpin. See, they're nice and easy. Car struggling to rotate just a little bit. I would think that Spilly would want a little bit more rotation out of the car. Around turn 8. Using all of the curb and the exit. Around turn 9. A little bit of the inside curb. And turns 10 and 11. You want that nice wide approach at turn 10. Try and open up at 11. Quite a narrow approach through 12. Nice wide exit to try and open up 13 here. Of lag there on my end. Noticed that recently that I just get these spontaneous spikes of lag for whatever reason. But no idea why. Down the main straight. Using DRS and a bit of overtake. Pulls alongside and passes Ferrari Pro. He's into 5th. Around the hairpin. Turn 3 through 4. Down towards the hairpin at turn 5. Ferrari Pro not quite close enough to try and attack the Aston Martin. Elsewhere, we have a battle for 9th going on between Gilles and Plevs. These two know each other pretty well. They were teammates for a while at McLaren. As I mentioned earlier, it seems that Gilles has jumped ship. The other British team, donned in its world-renowned British racing green. It'd be interesting to see what the 2022 car looks like from Aston Martin, as they're the first car to reveal the brand new car. Well, the first team scheduled to reveal the 2022 car. Be very interesting. They had a bit of a sponsor shake-up as well over there. They're no longer sponsoring BWT. They've departed. Same with their former team principal, Otmar. He's jumped ship as well. Hired, or rather brought up, a man with arguably the funniest name in Formula 1 currently to be the new team principal at Aston Martin, Mr. Mike Crack. Oh god. The level of content we got from that, my goodness. In all seriousness, he was the former race engineer for, chief engineer for Sebastian Vettel, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares as team principal. ACW now on the back of his teammate. He would want to get by ASAP. He'll be held up too much. And who knows, maybe Roscoe, he can do himself a favour just hanging behind ACW, staying in the tow. Try and get a bit of DRS, a bit of slipstream. Here comes ACW looking down the inside. Roscoe won't make it too difficult. There we are. Into second place goes the Alfa Romeo driver. BP is still in the lead, a whole 10.1 seconds in front. But he still has another stop to do. Spilly's got a bit of pressure. Coming from Ferrari Pro, he's got a bit of a run. Looking, doesn't go for a move though. Probably a wise thing to do. See their position changes as well. They're not final. Still got a bit of shuffling to do. See the biggest movers being BP, Roscoe up 13 and 9 positions respectively, but they've got to make a stop at some point. But generally speaking, not too many drivers moving up positions as, well, Zach has just done that. Moved up into 12th place, overtaking Keeg in the Ferrari. Around the hairpin at turn 14. A lot of drivers losing positions. Not too many gaining. But we're reaching that point where the medium runners that started the race on the mediums will be thinking about making a pit stop soon. Those two drivers being Roscoe and BP. at lap 20. So we've got 14 laps to go. So those two will definitely be thinking about pitting this lap. Getting onto the soft tyre as early as possible and pushing straight away. These three still incredibly close. This is some of the intense racing I got to witness here at Portugal in Pacific Tier 1. You have these really tightly bunched trains that battle one another. They don't do too much, but in these sort of groups, if there's any whiff of drama, it tends to amplify. So if any of these guys make a mistake, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the other drivers in this little battle get called out by it too. Unless, of course, it's Bags, because, well, he's at the end of the train, so. Down onto the main straight. BP and Roscoe, they haven't pitted yet. Interesting. Ferrari Pro still applying pressure. Spilly still resisting. Good driving between these two. They've battled well. A lot of respect being shown. Good to see. Ferrari Pro might get a bit of a run here. 2.5 tenths back. He's got DRS. He's using a bit of battery as well. Spilly defends the inside. Around the outside goes Ferrari Pro. Oh, that's a bit the opposite of respect being shown there. Just a small shove. They're side by side through turn 6 into 7. Ferrari Pro is into 5th place. Down the inside at turn 7, he was able to hang on to that inside line. And slots himself into 5th. Don't think he'll be pulling away anytime soon though. These three have been fairly evenly matched. Well, the battle between these two, between Hilles and Plevs. Plevs, he needs to get a little bit closer if he wants to try and overtake Hilles. Andre just behind as well. Working away at Keeg. Coming around turn 11. Oh, hang on. Here comes Spilly into 5th. So he overtook the Ferrari down the inside. Oh, Ferrari Pro tries to fight back. Can't quite do it though. And Spilly, he'll likely hang on to 5th place here at the hairpin too. He does. Roscoe moves down into 4th place. He's yet to make his stop. Alex, he's now 3.5 seconds behind ACW. Andre overtakes Keeg as well. Or Keeg fights back. Oh, that's pretty tight between those two. There might have been contact. I couldn't, excuse me, I couldn't quite tell. That was awfully close between those two. Silverford has clawed onto the back of Plevs as well. He's within a second of the McLaren driver, who is still working away at Hilles. Around turn 13. Spilly at the front of this train. Can he hang on to 5th? Roscoe darts into the pit lane. With his one and only stop, he'll move on to the soft tyre. Ferrari Pro can't quite close in by enough. Can he get a run through 3 and 4 though? Around 3. Around 4, no, Spilly, he nails that actually. Pulled away by several tenths. Bags is still right there in 6th. Just waiting his time. Oh, that was close. Bags can't quite get the run though. Oh, and a bit of a wiggle. Just a little one. Teeny weeny one. A wiggle. And Andre is into the pits as well. So I reckon he did get damage when we saw him and Key close together. He's in the pits. And he was still on relatively fresh tyres. Roscoe, he's down in 11th. He is 11.6 seconds behind Silverford. It's a lot of catching up to do with the amount of laps remaining. BP stays out for another lap. I reckon what BP is trying to do here, actually, there is Andre just behind there in 15th. What BP is trying to do is pray for a safety car, I think. Then hop onto the soft tyre. Maybe a virtual safety car if he's lucky. But everybody has kept it fairly tidy. No major mistakes. Oh, hello. Spilly losing 2 positions here. Bags is down to 5th. Spilly can't quite fight back either. And here comes Bags. He's got to run. Can he go for 4th? He's looking down the inside of the Ferrari. Ferrari Pro gives him a little bit of contact, but you do get that at turn 5. Both cars get excellent drive out of the hairpin. They're side by side around turn 7 into turn 8. Ferrari Pro has the inside, but Bag still holds it around the outside. Great driving between these two. Up and over the crest, down the hill towards the flat out left-hander of turn 9. Back up the hill, over the crest into turn 10. They're still side by side through 11. Bags is going to be a bit wide here, but he's still fighting through 12. Fantastic stuff into the hairpin of 13. Ferrari Pro goes deep, keeps the nose in front. He has the inside. Oh, and spin! Oh, and a nice catch again from Bags. But he lost time. And that's a rubbish penalty, Codemasters. Are you kidding me? A 5-second penalty for corner cutting. You're joking, right? He'll get that removed, of course. But the fact that he got it in the first place is completely ridiculous. Here comes Spilly. He gets by Ferrari Pro and takes 4th. Oh, and he cops a warning at corner entry. Interesting. So he ran a bit wide. Oh, and I think that was Bags. It is. So his tyres were way out of temperature, I reckon. And he's dropped down to 10th. Oh, that's just a sorry sight to see. He was driving superbly. And when Ferrari Pro and Spilly were battling, Bags took the opportunity to try and take the both of them. It was smart driving. It was patient driving. But unfortunately, he got a tad bit throttle happy at the exits of turn 13, and it's cost him incredibly dearly. Silderford is now properly on the back of this battle now, so we've got a 3-way fight for 7th. We've now got a 2-way fight for 4th between Spilly and Ferrari Pro. That's a damn shame because Bags was driving superb. And these two will continue the fight, the laps remaining. BP still out on track, in the lead, yet to make a stop. Desperately waiting for something, a safety car, anything. Here comes Ferrari Pro, he's got to run. He looks to the inside but doesn't commit to the move. Probably a wise thing, he didn't have enough momentum on his side to really send it into 1. Hiller's under a bit of pressure here as Plebs goes down the inside at turn 1. They're side by side through turn 2 as Tinselman gets a 3-second time penalty. Hiller's still fighting around the outside at 3. A bit of a shove there maybe as Sildervoort gets a run. Exiting turn 4 down the back straight away. Plebs, can he hang on to P7? He defends the inside rather late there into the hairpin at turn 5. Plebs hangs on. Silderford can't quite get a run. There's Bags Liddell just behind. Oh, they're side by side heading into turn 7. Hillers has the inside line. He's trying to hang on as Plebs gets a 3-second time penalty. And Hillers successfully hangs on. But here comes Silderford. They're side by side heading around turn 9. Not quite. Silderford not quite quick enough at turn 9 to try and challenge Plebs there. Hello, Bags. In P10, and BP finally pulls the plug. He's gone into the pits to put on some soft tyres and go to the end. Around turn 14. Really tight fighting going on. Here comes Ferrari Pro. He's properly got to run this time around. Overtakes Spilly into 3rd place, I should say now. So this battle is a battle for the final podium spot. And it is tight. Silverfort has moved into 7th place as well. I just want to keep my eye on this though. Here comes Spilly. He's got to run. Ferrari Pro doesn't defend the inside. He stays on the racing line. Spilly goes through, pushes a little bit wide. I think that's fair. That's part of racing there. Some hard racing, good to watch. Ferrari Pro just hangs behind. He'll have his chance to take that position back. Silverford into P7. BP in 6th place. That is a fine effort. That is a very fine effort. I reckon he'll be getting driver of the day. Oh, hello, Spilly and Ferrari Pro battling at the crest at turn 11. So they're battling in places where you don't normally battle. So it's game on between these two. Now, Spilly does have a penalty. I don't know how many warnings Ferrari Pro has got, but I don't really want to look. Every time I look at the race director to see who's got what penalties, I tend to curse that person. They tend to get one. Or get another one. Or Spilly defending really hard here, forcing Ferrari Pro to go onto the racing line. Swoops on by, and he's into 3rd. Good driving. Bit of lag there, as Ferrari Pro defends the inside line. BP, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Better bring up that graphic now. They become more important as we get closer towards the checkered flag. Spilly unable to attack. Silverfort pulling away. Well, hello. Bags. Hilles side by side. Bags into 9th. Good driving there. He does have that 5-second penalty, but he will be getting that removed. For sure. Well, hello. Spilly all over the back of Ferrari Pro, exiting turn 11. Down through turn 12. Up the hill towards 13. Back down through the gears, 3rd gear. Keeps it in 3rd. A bit of understeer as Silverfort gets a 3-second time penalty, increasing their tally to 6 seconds. Exiting 14. Using the curb on the outside, around the final corner here. Spilly, he'll get a big run with the help of DRS. Opens it. Ferrari Pro defends that inside line, but Spilly doesn't care. He's going down the inside. They're side by side through 1. Through 2. Into 3. As Key gets a 3-second time penalty. Through turn 4. And down the back straightaway, Ferrari Pro's got a hell of a run out of the left-hander. He's got the inside line as well. And he's through back into 3rd place. Can Spilly get the over-under? Oh, that's awfully close on the exit. Ferrari Pro had a whole heap of oversteer at the exit of the hairpin. Spilly had to oversteer to avoid contact. Through turn 8 now. This is fantastic battling. Spilly gets great traction out of the right-hander. They're almost side by side into 9. Can't quite get it done, but Spilly has the inside line for 10, but he doesn't dare go down the inside there. That's probably too risky. Loses a little bit of ground, not too much, just a little bit. BP in 6th place. He's got Silverfort players, Bags and Hilles right behind. Oh, and Tinselman, hello, you're at the front of this. Okay, P5 in the Alpine. Interesting. So we got a fairly big gaggle of cars here, all battling for position. All of these guys have penalties too. Down the pitch straight away. Up and over the crest. Down the main straight. Spilly round the outside at turn 1, retakes 3rd. What about guys back here? BP doesn't appear to be making full use of those soft tyres. Guys behind on the mediums doing very well. Down towards the hairpin at turn 5. Hello, Spilly, Ferrari Pro. They're side by side exiting the hairpin. I think they lost a bit of time together, I reckon. They lost about half a second to Tinselman exiting the hairpin, so I reckon those two came together. Up and over the crest, down the hill. So it's Tinselman, followed by BP, followed by Silverfort, then Plebs, then Bags, and Hilles at the back of the train. In terms of pens, here and now, Hilles and Plebs have the least. So they're set to benefit from this battle by quite a bit. Of course, post-race, might see a few changes in terms of penalties, especially for Bags. Down the main straight. Got 3 laps to go. 3 laps to sort this battle out. For 3rd place, Ferrari Pro. Round the outside at 1. Spilly fights back. What a superb battle this has been between these two. Through turn 3. Tinselman also hanging on to 5th. He's got a lot of pressure from BP behind, but he's holding strong. Down towards the hairpin. Ferrari Pro's not close enough. And it's Tinselman, BP, Silderfort, Plevs. Oh, bit of contact there between BP and Silderfort, I think. It's concertinaed it up a little bit, and Plevs got into the back of Silderfort, I think. A bit difficult to tell from that camera angle. The Red Bull and the McLaren definitely hit one another, that's for sure. But I think initially Silderfort hit BP at the hairpin. Pump sets a new fastest lap, 1 minute 17.957. He's down in 14th place. I believe Race Spec is still using a top 15 system. But, I'll double check that at the end of the race. These fellas will begin lap 32 of 33 here at Portugal. Spilly defending. Ferrari Pro looking around the long way. Into turn 1, they're side by side again. Spilly forces him wide through turn 2 into 3. He hangs on to P3. BP is now into 5th place. Oh, hello, Plez, looking down the inside. The Singaporean driver here, they're side by side on the exit. Bags gets a run around the outside of turn 4. What superb driving from Bags there. What a great opportunist Bags is. He's looking down the inside. That's a late defense there from Plebs. He shut that door right in Bags' face there. And Silderfort, as a result, is going to get back by into 8th place. Bags was that held up at the hairpin that he loses a position to the Red Bull driver. How about that? They're fighting for sheep stations now. It's going to get really intense between these boys as Pump sets another fastest lap at 17.6. Meanwhile, race leader ACW, he's been unchallenged, will begin the final lap, lap 33 of 33 here at Portimao. Alex is in 2nd place. He's got a comfy margin to P3, so he's going to hang on to 2nd. Meanwhile, the battle for P3 is definitely not over. Here comes Ferrari Pro with DRS. He's got no battery left. He used all of it. Can't get a run into turn 1. Around turn 2, into turn 3. He's got realistically one more shot at turn 5. He needs a great run here out of 4, and I think he's got one. Here he comes, down the inside of Spilly here, into the hairpin at turn 5. Spilly leaves a wide berth, tries to get the over-under. He's fairly successful. He's got a nose alongside. A Ferrari Pro swoops in and takes 3rd. Spilly, though, with those 6 seconds worth of penalties, he probably realises there's no point battling Ferrari Pro at this stage. Probably smart to just let him go. Take 3rd place. Meanwhile, out in front, it's been a superb drive from ACW. A drive that we all expect from this talented youngster. He exits a final corner, comes over the crest, crosses the line to win here in Portugal, to win the opening round of the Pacific Elite Series. Alex Pato finishes in a fine P2, and it'll be Ferrari Pro who will finish in 3rd place. A very solid effort indeed, making up 4 places over the course of the race. A fantastic effort. Tinselman jumps up to P5, make that Plevs jumping up to P5 at the end. Tinselman in P6, Plevs in 7th, BP in 7th I should say. Hillers in 8th, Roscoe Arm in 9th, Silderfort in 10th, Bags in 11th place, 2.6 seconds back from Silderfort, but he'll get those 5 seconds removed for sure. If you remove those 5 seconds, he'll be 27.4 seconds behind the race winner. That will put him P6, I believe. G4 Zach in P12. Pump will be the next finisher in 13th place. Not the ideal start for Pump or the Mercedes team. In 11th and 13th, Keegan's the final finisher. And then the race ended with a bang there, with Pump crashing into the barrier when he crosses the line. Driver of the day, of course, it's BP. Started towards the back, clawed his way up to a top 8 finish. I think he finished 7th. No, a fine effort from ACW. Like I said, a drive that we all expect from this guy. Wins by a healthy margin as well. Alex, he'll be kicking himself with the tyre choice and with the 5-second penalty he got for speeding in the pit lane. And Ferrari Pro, I'm sure you'll be ecstatic with his performance, finishing on the podium after a terrific scrap with Spilly. Oh. There we are. Nice way to open a season. ACW taking the win by just under 10 seconds. To Alex Ferrari Pro in P3. Spilly in 4th, Plebs in 5th, Tinselman in 6th, BP in 7th from 14th, making up 7 places over the course of the race. Killers in 8th, Roscoe Arm in 9th, Silverfort in 10th, Bags in 11th place, followed by G4 Zach in 12th, Pump 46 in 13th, Keegan 14th, NZ Andre in 15th, and our only non-finisher is Powerside. 16 cars, 15 finished. Well, 15 cars started, 15 finished. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, I said at the during the intro that I was hoping for a entertaining and or dramatic. No, I didn't. I said a nice and or entertaining start to the season. I think we got a nice one for sure. Had some great battles between quite a few drivers, most notably between Spilly and Ferrari Pro. I'm sure they're pretty happy with their performances. And we had a few battles elsewhere as well, which was interesting to watch. No. Oh, dearie me. I'm in a bit of a sweat. Oh, you want to do race interviews, huh? Suppose I could do that. Well, ACW doesn't, I can tell from that. But I suppose I can invite Alex and Ferrari Pro in. We can have a chat. Oh, about what happened during the course of that race. I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, dearie me. Dum-da-dum-da-dum. $94. Believe that's your number, Alex? There you are. Oh, suppose if they would like to have a chat, we can have a chat. Talk about what happened over the course of that one. Seems that ACW doesn't want to talk, and that's okay. I don't think he'd have too much to mention anyway. He was that far out in front, he just drove his own race, and he kept out of trouble. Hello, Ferrari Pro.
What's up, Wayne?
Hang on, I just want to double check something with you as well. That you have your party audio on always allow. It will be. So if you go to party settings and then scroll down to allow your voice to be shared, should be on always allow. Okay, fantastic. Just want to make sure. Always good to do that because sometimes I do interviews and then the audience hear nothing.
Yeah.
But tell you what, start the interviews now. See if Alex wants to join up. I know ACW doesn't. That's okay. But you had a pretty fun race, it seemed. You had a great battle with Spilly over the course of the race here.
that was the most scariest race I've ever done in my life.
Oh, it looked pretty intense.
Just the fact that I kept getting in front and I saw a green Aston Martin behind me, buddy, attacking me like a shark. It was insane.
But how was the and qualifying as well?
Yeah, I didn't think I got the max out of the car in quali, like, Sector 3, like, before the big loop of the final corner. That old Sector 3, I kind of wasn't judging it really well, I should say. And the race went pretty good. I got a good start, made up the P5 in the first lap, so just went from there, pitted the softs on like lap 9 or something. No, not lap 9, yeah, it might have been. And that's all she wrote from there.
No, how was that battle with Spilling?
Oh, that was probably the best battle I've ever had. But it just went all race. I was like wanting the checkered flag to come out every single lap.
You mentioned that it was a bit of a scary experience at times. Did you feel that was pretty respectful between you two?
Yeah, it was respectful. There was some moments when we might have got heated at each other a little bit and gave each other a squeeze or tiny little brake test, but overall it was a clean battle.
No, that's good to hear. And I also hear that you've fixed your wheel problems as well.
Yeah, that's a shout out to my dad because like I have no idea how to fix potentiometers in my pedals.
Right.
And he does, so shout out to you, Dad.
And back problems, I hear.
Yeah, just it's a pretty bad tailbone injury that I've had.
Yikes. Those aren't nice, I know that.
Yeah, so I've got that all fixed. It's nearly fixed, I should say, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the other races this season.
Well, next race is going to be at Shanghai. How do you think you'll fare?
Oh, I like that track.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It is a good track.
Yeah, it's not a bad track for racing from a spectator point of view. Got several overtaking opportunities around the circuit, and
yeah.
The only section I'm irritated by as a driver is probably the opening complex. I struggled to get that right at the best of times. Yeah, it's a pretty bad like couple first corners and that. Honestly, the whole first sector's probably bad, but sector 2 and 3 are fine. Looking forward to the rest of the championship as well. Do you think you could potentially challenge for a championship if you can keep this up?
Oh, that's the aim. I really hope so.
That's great to hear. And I've noticed as well that Alex hasn't joined, I think. Well, he asked if he wanted to do interviews, and I sent him an invite. Maybe it didn't go through. I'll send him another one shortly. But no, congrats on that drive. That was an entertaining watch. That's for sure.
I feel like I put the audience on their toes a bit.
No.
Also, I want to do like kind of like a big shout out to all the online boys like Tinselman, Broke Vegan, Aussie Blake 94, and all that. Like, thanks for these couple months of letting me practice in your lobbies and driving figures, and
But no, congratulations on your podium finish here for iPro. Solid effort.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now I'll double check again with Alex, see if he does want to join. Let's see. I'll type his name out again. Sometimes the invites don't properly go through. Sometimes. Alex Pato 94. Oh no, it's not too bad. I've heard worse. Like a lot worse. I had worse. I used to do commentary with just some headphones and a shitty microphone, so my quality was less than subpar for a long time. Until Race Spec rather generously gave me this Corsair headset after season 4.
Oh, that's alright.
Yeah, it was awfully generous. Plebs did a donation thing to all of the tiers that I did, and yeah, they bought me this, which is awfully kind.
Yeah. Well, shout out the plebs there, I guess.
And, are you doing any other tiers out of curiosity for iPro?
I'm only doing Formula Endurance.
I see, and that's the opening round of Bahrain, isn't
Yeah.
it? That'll be interesting as well. Bahrain, definitely one of the better better Tilka drones at the very least that we go
Yeah,
to.
I just thought Elite Series and Formula Endurance is enough because like having multiple spread out like through the whole week, it's just
It is a bit
doesn't
much.
work with me.
No, that's completely understandable. It seems that Alex is joining. Well, is indeed joining. I love technical issues. That's,
Well, I think he's Italian, right? I'm pretty sure I put a smile on his face putting the Ferrari up there.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
110%. But he'd be pretty gutted as well. He had a solid chance to win this race, but got a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pits, and he pitted onto the hard tyre instead of the mediums, which kind of ruined his race.
Yeah. Anyway, good chat in lane, and see you next week. Hopefully, same time next week on the podium, talking to you.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later, man.
See you later. Seems that ACW does actually want to chat. Yeah, righto. He does want to flex. What a surprise! The race winner wants to flex. All right. Let the flexing begin. Alright, ACW, get your butt in here. You can tell us all how great you are. There's the devil.
Hello, Lane.
Hello, ACW. Just want to double check with you as well, just like I did with Ferrari Pro, that your audio settings are all good. So, if you go to... you're on a PS5, so that will be different. Ew, I can't remember how to do it on a PS5. But, hopefully we'll be able to hear you in the interview, because I'm not sure.
I think it's on. It should be on.
But, no. First race of the season. Race 1. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah.
But,
Wasn't really expecting it too much, but...
Really?
No.
Oh, fair
I
enough.
was struggling with my setup quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Setup issues.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't evident out there on track. I can tell you that. You seem pretty quick out there. How was it in both qualifying and in the race? Because you put the car on pole position.
It felt quite good. I was matching my offline mode pace, so I was quite happy.
Mm.
I was quite scared of Alex, because he was quite quick in the first stint.
Mm-hmm.
With my bad start. But then, obviously, his glitch or whatever made him peel into the wrong tires. Which gave him the advantage.
Yeah, that really was a nail in the coffin for Alex when he went onto the hard tyre. He couldn't really fight with you then at all. But how was it out there? Did you feel pretty comfortable out in front?
Yeah.
No major troubles?
No troubles.
Oh, that's good to hear. But looking forward to next week, how do you think you'll fare at Shanghai?
China's not normally my strongest circuit, but who knows? With practice, anything can happen.
That's it. You always have to remain optimistic.
Yeah.
With races, anything can happen.
Exactly.
But no, I think in terms of your point of view, ACW, I think you're pretty solid at the moment, except for your race starts. That race start wasn't a very good one, that's for sure. You almost got overtaken by Spilly into turn 1, who was that off. But no, you hung on and you ended up taking a fairly comfortable win in the end. And I asked this for Oprah as well. How do you think your championship aspirations will go this season?
I'd like to remain optimistic and say first, but obviously Alex has got much more experience with no line.
Fair enough.
Probably has the upper hand, I'd reckon.
You performed well though, so. But again, I think you've answered that quite well too. Remain optimistic and open-minded is probably a sensible way to go about it. But no, congratulations on winning the opening round of the Pacific Elite Championship ACW. A great effort, so congrats.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, I haven't been able to get Alex. I've sent him 2 invites and he's unable to join. That's great. Maybe I'll figure something out next week. I think I might know what it is. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, with interviews out of the way, we could probably wrap up the stream. A nice way to start off the championship. No major drama. We had only one retirement, being Power Site. We had no safety cars or virtual safety cars. But we had great battles in between. We had a fantastic battle between Ferrari Pro and Spilly, and we had, actually, Bags Liddell in that battle as well. And then a huge train of cars in the midfield, all jostling for position. So it was a nice, healthy way to start off a season. But with the race finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports, but for Pacific Elite, we'll have to wait until next Sunday. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 2 of the championship at Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.